what's up everybody, welcome back. So today is time for another react video. Why? Well, Valve, the name of my grandmother, actually released the first gameplay trailer for Half-Life ALYX, which is not sadly Half-Life 3, but it is a brand new Half-Life game, and we haven't had a brand new Half-Life game for like 15 years, not including the DLC content, right? So 15 years. Let's check out what Half-Life ALYX looks like, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about it because it's taking place in between Half-Life and Half-Life 2. So it's a prologue or a prequel to Half-Life 2, and it's a VR game. Anyway, let's check out the trailer, and I guess we're gonna find out a lot more about it then. Alright, Steam VR. Okay, I don't have any of those, but at least I have a proper PC. So if I buy a VR product, I can actually play it. Okay. Oh, shit.
Alex? Alex!
I'm here.
Crabs are back.
Plan?
Facehugger crabs.
What we're doing here could change things forever.
There's no straight shot to the vault. I'm gonna head inside, find a way out.
Okay.
Got it.
I'm with you every step of the way.
You're gonna need a gun! Don't worry, it's unloaded. It's unloaded now!
Well, so far, I'm gonna be honest here. Graphics look like Half-Life 2.
Combine cheddar's really picking up. They know you're coming. You need to get out of here, now.
They're decent, but it's Half-Life 2 graphics.
Oh god.
They've got
Yeah.
Dad.
They're
Alright.
gonna find out what he knows, and then they're gonna kill him.
All this is my fault. I never told you. I couldn't. I'm so sorry, baby.
You will not save him. Alex Vance alone cannot prevent his fate.
Close your eyes, honey.
Okay. Half-Life ALYX. Oh, the G-Man! The G-Man is back. Alright. March 2020 is the release date, right? And it's coming out for Oculus Rift and HTC Vive, right? And well, Windows MR. Anyway, yeah. So where to begin here? I mean, yeah, as you can see from the graphics, right? It looks exactly the same as Half-Life 2. And I have played Half-Life 2 with VR, and it's decent, but nothing particularly amazing, right? This here is, properly made for the VR devices, right? So it has a lot more, intuitive, controls and systems like that, built specially for VR, which should immerse you a little bit more, right? I mean, Half-Life 2 with VR was pretty decent, but I mean, it's a 15-year-old game, right? It doesn't look really great anymore. It does look like good in some places, but it's like Call of Duty. I mean, Call of Duty also uses the same Quake 3 engine year after year after year, polishing a little bit so it looks good in trailers. But when you go into a multiplayer game or something like that, you see that the game engine is actual garbage. And it's pretty much the same here. I mean, it's a Counter-Strike Global Offensive graphics, right? I'm a little bit of a graphics nerd, right? I was there when Half-Life 2 launched, right? I was there on day one. I was there when Crysis launched, and when everybody was hyping up Crysis, and I was looking like all these jungle pictures, and it was like, oh my god, this is like real life. And it is to this day, really a epic game in terms of graphics, right? But other than that, okay, graphics do not make a good game, right? It's the gameplay, how it immerses the story, right? And the story is taking place between Half-Life and Half-Life 2. Why? Everybody wants to know what happens after episode 2, right? If you're gonna, I mean, what's there to tell more? It's a Half-Life 2 game. It's not, when I actually wanna see a prequel to Half-Life 2, I want to see something from Half-Life Black Mesa in today's graphics and stuff like that, right? Maybe escaping the last hours from there into the city, right, or something like that, right? But this year it's just starting off like Half-Life 2, I think, pretty much, right? In the city looks like Half-Life 2 as well. What have they done for 15 bloody years? I mean, there's no dislikes at the moment, right? Because everybody is like, oh my god, this Half-Life ALYX, right? New Half-Life game, VR, oh my god. But when you actually, take it in a little bit, right? Think about it a little bit more after a few days, I guess. You're gonna notice that this doesn't look anything special, sadly. I mean, VR, I don't even have VR, so if I want to play ALYX, I mean, I have to buy a 300 or 500 or 700 euro device just for what? This ALYX, Half-Life ALYX, which is like 2 hours long or something, right? Hopefully not, right? But, who knows, right? And it's not gonna bring anything really new, because it's a story in between Half-Life and Half-Life 2. And we know almost everything what happens in Half-Life 2, right? Except for part 3. Episode 3, right? It's missing. That's what everybody is waiting for. Oh god. Yeah, it's a little bit sad here. So you need a proper gaming rig, right, to play this on decent. It doesn't have any decent. It's gonna play on every rig, I guess, right? If your rig plays CS:GO, I guess it also plays Half-Life ALYX, right? And you need the VR device, right? You need a proper gaming PC, and you need a proper VR device, right? Which does cost still a pretty penny, right? And yeah, I mean, I've tried all kinds of VR devices. I've tried Oculus Rift, I've tried HTC Vive in all sorts of different stages of life cycle, right? I've tried the Oculus Rift from the very first model, right, that went to the public, right? DK1, DK2, and stuff like that, right? And the HTC devices at Gamescom and stuff like that, right? And then when it actually released. And they still have like a huge wireframe, because the resolution is so low for VR. You're gonna have a really pixelated screen. I guess it gets a little bit better with the brand new devices, but if the resolution is not coming up by a huge mile, it's not gonna be a real difference, right? Thankfully, like in FPS games, it doesn't matter that much as in like racing games where you actually cannot see the breaking points because they're so pixelated, right? They're so tiny there. But with FPS games, it works pretty well. I think like strategy games work really well with VR. It's like you can see the battlefield and go closer. I mean, I'm still waiting for something like that, like a proper strategy game for VR. Or maybe an action RPG, Path Vexel or Diablo on VR. It could be something pretty neat. Anyway, for Half-Life ALYX, I'm pretty skeptical here. March 2020 release, right? Not long to wait, at least, right? But yeah, it's gonna be a disappointment, isn't it? Anyway, these are my opinions. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any, comments yourself, what do you think about Half-Life ALYX yourself? Leave them down below in the comments. Leave me some feedback. What are the pros and what are the cons of Half-Life ALYX in your opinion? Now that you've looked through the trailer many times. Anyway, don't wanna drag this video longer. So yeah, I guess this is going to be it. I think I talked about pretty much everything. I guess if you don't have any VR devices or something like that, right? Search your local places that offer VR experiences, right? Here in Estonia, in Tallinn, we have a few places you can go and pay like, I don't know, like 5 or 10 euros, and you can play like a hour. So I guess these are the best places to just do one playthrough, and you have a lot more space, right? Of course, you're not at home, but you don't own the devices, but you're still gonna get a really good experience. Anyway, and you don't have to pay for the game. Yeah, it's like a 50 euro VR game as well. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you later. Ciao.